You see, yesterday I was lying on the bed. Mind is very clear that I'm not the body. Then the mind went deeper. The body is nothing but the matter. Matter is constantly changing. Then the mind said, now you are 64 years old. I said, no, matter can become old because it is constantly changing. How can you say that you are old or young? Matter is matter. Neither young nor old. And then the mind said, all belongs to Shiva. So whether you see the image of the Shiva, Krishna, goddess, it is the illusion plus Maya plus real self. So now now you see that I'm talking in two different ways. So I got up. So this I is a deluded I who got up, who stood, who was walking, who went to the restroom, who took a bath. And there was an experience as if this body is not there. And you are talking, you are communicating, you are doing all your activities. This is what happens. It is amazing experience. So everything, they all the knowledge occurs simultaneously. This is what I want to say. When you remove the ignorance, there is a simultaneous awareness of all the principles. I am not the body, matter. Matter is constantly changing. Whatever is changing is definitely a matter. It cannot be the real self. So a total detachment is there. Dispassion is there. And you live into that state of peace and happiness. So once I return again to the computer, mind said, I am not happy, but I am happiness. I am not in peace, but I am peace. I am love, I am compassion, I am kindness, I am. So, the whole awareness, you are not thinking anything, but it continues into your mind because the mind has realized it. Mind has realized the knowledge. That is another meaning of living wisely. Whether you live wisely in knowledge, you live unwisely in ignorance. So, for the sake of understanding, we say intellect is nothing but the knowledge. So, as long as knowledge, because now I don't have that knowledge, so I need to think. Because thinking gives me the knowledge. So, that thinking is contemplation and reflection. So, what to think and how to think? Think from false to the truth, false to the real, from ignorance to wisdom. So now, body, I am not the body, matter constantly changing. How can I say constantly changing is a birth and death? Yes, replacing. Many cells die, other cells grow. So there is a constant birth and death. How can you claim that I died at 70 years of age or I am born on this date? There is no question. I'm not born. One change is known as birth, second change is known as growth, third change is known as maturity, fourth change is known as death. But in all time, in all locations, everything is constantly changing. It is in flux. You see, I'm speaking when the knowledge is realized, you have that experience. You have that experience. Just I was giving a lesson, and my wife said me something, and I was upset. Then I have a pain in the back, and you gave me some practices, I think, which is helping me. So I start asking people that what happened last week? How many times you were in anxiety, you were in duality, you were in conflict, you feel uncomfortable, you are not worthy of suffering, that you did not realize. So when I realize I'm not worthy of suffering, I'm living wisely. Situation, outer situation, people, things, time will constantly change. So one person plus one condition plus a particular time, mind says it is a problem. Another person, another condition, another time, mind says it is a solution. Young girl plus situation plus time, fiancé. Now see that same girl, another time, another situation, soulmate. Now see, same girl, which is constantly changing. That girl has changed a lot. Another time, another situation, pregnant, another
Right.
situation, baby, another situation. Look at it, look at very clearly. Everything is in flux, is constantly changing. The matter is constantly changing. It cannot be true. It has no birth in the death and the growth. It is all about the change that is reflected at a different time, created by the mind. Problem is this: I see the same girl as a girl, and after a few years, I see the same girl as uh, his wife or mother, etc., etc. Living wisely. So, at a very primary stage, when people do not understand, we said recognize the likes and dislikes. That covers the truth. What is the truth about the world? Is constantly changing. But likes and dislikes says no, the world is not changing. It covers, it paints. What that covers and paints by thought, by feeling, by likes and dislikes, emotional dependence. See that. Look at it. Constant awareness. So, living wisely means that this body is constantly changing. It will dissolve into the five elements. It is already dissolving constantly. Those cells which die, they are also the part of the entire universe. New cells are replaced, came from the same universe. So what happens that you see? Science says the solid is a myth. Yes, it is a myth. Solid is a matter. Matter is particles. Particles is nothing but energy. But solid is a myth. Why is but I feel the solid because of the sense organ. You have to go deeper. For sense organ, it will definitely look like solid. Same way for the sense organ and plus the mind in delusion, believes that my body stays. No, it has already changed from yesterday. It has already changed within 10 minutes. We create these principles, my friend, only to understand. We don't need any. Truth will always exist. I exist that I am conscious of it without any principle. I have only to find out who is this I. That is why we have to pass through many principles, many models, many metaphors. You are an engineer, so you know that we create a model of atom, electron, proton, and neutron. It's only a model. Never think that the atom, molecules, electron, protons are like the way we see in the picture. It's a model. Model
And
cannot be
simplification.
identical with the reality. So through the model we point out. So that is what we are doing. We have created hundreds of models. We do not start thinking and getting attached to these models, but we should get a right knowledge. The ways the science does it, we do it. Now see the
But
different
also,
models.
philosophy is also the kind of model.
Yeah, sure. Our goal is who am I? That much I know that I exist. I'm conscious of it. I don't know who actually I am. So there is an ignorance. So, in order to remove that ignorance, we create models, metaphors, examples, principles. Once you are there, you don't need to even think of five koshas. You do not need to think of three bodies. Huh? So Sthul Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, Karan Sharira, forget about it. You don't need it. That's what I gave you an example. That, the body, matter, energy, and I have been attached to this body for so long. Oh, attachment created a delusion. You see that? So how the attachment needs to be explained? It is the mind that likes and dislikes. But why the mind likes and dislikes? Because it lives in the non-thinking stage. What is non-thinking? Animals are not thinking, they live in ignorance. So we also live in ignorance. See the model. And these models have been experimented thousands of times for more than 10,000 years by all the masters, and these model works. That is what we say. So once we accept, our mind accepts, mind is ready to remove, so we follow the models and then we say, okay, we find our real self. I told you, Vivekananda said that I'm not happy, but happiness is my nature. Now see the difference. You see the metaphor, or you can create a model. I'm not in peace. I am peace. I am happiness. Now see the difference between I am happiness and I am happy. So when I say I am happy, happiness appears as if too far from me. I did something, so I got happy. But when I say I am happiness, happiness is existence. Existence is love and the truth and the wisdom. Oh, do you mean to say I am happiness? Yes, you are happiness. Do you know it? Not now, so you are in ignorance. We created a model that you just understand. Ignorance means misunderstanding. Does not mean that illiteracy. In ignorance, we say you are not very well qualified, you did not have a master's. But here the ignorance is misunderstanding, wrong notion, delusion, maya, likes and dislikes. Oh, long list. They all are more or less the same. Their explanation is different, but they all are the same. So we are making a journey at a higher level. So when we are a higher seeker, now how you can pinpoint whether the mind is moving in ignorance, because I know my ignorance also. How come? I don't know you. So that is ignorance. I know you. That is knowledge. In both the cases, I'm conscious that I know it. I'm conscious I don't know it. That starts the journey of self discovery. I am aware that I don't know myself. No, no, I am the body, I'm attached to it. Journey stops. Because you claim that you know it. So it means there is no ignorance. But you are living in ignorance. You see the logic and understanding. Understanding behind that logic. So now come to the same factor. So I am conscious that I don't know myself. From where this question comes? So this question comes from the Eastern wisdom. It says, are you suffering? Yes, I am suffering. Because you don't know yourself. No, no, I know myself that I am the body. We agree in the beginning. We agree. And okay, you are the body. Are you suffering? Yes. You don't know yourself. But why you don't know yourself? Now ask
Because
a
you're
question.
suffering.
But if I am suffering, it means I am suffering. But at the same time, I want to get rid of the suffering. So suffering cannot be my nature because I want to get rid of it. Any pain, suffering, duality, conflict, problem, I just want to. I cannot stop until I find a solution. So that I is different from the suffering. So you are opposing yourself. That is ignorance. How simple. I'm simply, it's so simple. I'm suffering. So when I am suffering, either I should claim that I am stress. So if I claim I am stress, then stress is my nature. So I will be happy when I have a stress. But my daily experiences tells me that I want to get rid of it. So hence, it means there is something more than what I think, what I know. I am in ignorance. Hence, I have to remove this ignorance in my life. You see how simple it is. Once we understand this, now you are sitting in mindfulness or meditation. Now every thought has a content of the world. You are searching yourself. So your mind does not wander if you have millions of thoughts because you are clear. Any thought has nothing to do with me because I know I exist even without a thought. So I'm already in meditation. Oh, I'm already in that meditation. I am aware. Even I don't need to say I'm just an awareness. Yes, the rest are the details. The rest is the word. Any thought comes in. You don't care when the traffic moves by your house. Your neighbors is doing something. That we understand that all these thoughts are like neighbors and the traffic. Let it continue. They will continue. They will never stop. So you have separated completely from your thought process. So your mind is steady. So sometimes people say, I have lot of thought, I have to control it, I have to keep my mind empty. No, mind can never be empty. Consciousness is always empty. It is always empty. See that? All ocean is water. If you want to know, if you want to find out the waves in the water, you cannot find out. That is the difference between the mind and the wandering mind, calm mind and the wandering mind. All water, no waves. All water, even if the waves are there. We cannot say there are waves, therefore water is. No, there is a water, therefore the waves are. So our mind that is heavily conditioned by the society, culture, it tries to prove there are waves because there are waves, hence there is a water. They just do the opposite. Waves are, no, water is there because of waves. No, waves are there because of water. I exist because of existence. I exist does not mean I am in existence. Why? The moment I say I exist, it means I did not exist before that. Existence always exists. That is what is known as the truth. I can say that that existence appeared as me, appeared as you, appeared as my honey. Oh, so when you are aware of that factor, all your wandering mind stops, all your anxiety, duality, and a conflict and attachment and likes and dislikes with the people stops. You need not to control them. They are not there now. Because I don't see you and me are different in the field of awareness. We don't see that. So now, depending on there are many principles, but depending on, I'm just trying to help your mind to revive and to become aware of those different models so that your mind lives simultaneously with them and you are there. So look at the model. We say the mind has two flow, like the two flow of a river. You see, the Mississippi River, once it has an opposite flow, it kills. You have a storm, thousands of houses were destroyed. So mind also has a two flow. One flow is Shreyas, other flow is Prayas. How simple it is. Oh. So anything that causes the ignorance is a Prayas flow. Whether you say it is likes or pleasant, or whether you say it motivates you, forces you to work, to act, to think about others. It's all praise flow. I'm giving a different meaning. Any action prompted by feeling or a thought coming from the past impressions, sanskaras, or prarabdha. Praise flow. I'm not connected to Shreyas. The moment I'm connected to Shreyas, I'm already at peace. Oh, I'm already at peace, yes. I'm happiness, yes. No, but then I'm hungry. Okay, you're hungry without an ego. Body is hungry. You eat it. So what happens? You have totally separated yourself from the changing part, done by the body, mind, breath, intellect, ego, thought, past impressions, emotions, desires, craving, reaction, anger, anxiety. I'm separate, yes. When I'm separate, I'm there. So, but only this much of knowledge does not help. So the master keeps on talking. No, we have to understand how the prayer's flow takes place. Our prayer's flow is instinctive and impulsive. Shreyas flow is evolving and awakening. Now see that. We are giving the word to the mind. Mind, wait, understand the wrong notion. Every flow that prayers does is instinctive and impulsive. What is impulse and instinct? No. Step by step. This is what the contemplation is. Uh, we normally say instinct and impulse are so-called natural, typically fixed pattern of behavior in animals. So do I have a fixed pattern of behavior? Yes. So I have an animal mind. Like pleasure. Pleasure is a fixed behavior. Now every time I will act like this, so I will have a pleasure. So impulses, you can say that they are a natural or instant urge. There is an instant urge, but that distracts, wastes time and energy. Animals do not know. And instincts are your physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, physical reaction. It comes from your experience. Instincts comes from your experience and impulses are natural urges. You see the impulse, sudden urge, sudden. No, wait. Let me go to the restroom and come back. Let me take a glass of water. Instant urge. So that is why it is an impulse. But instinct comes from our experience. I have experienced the pleasure in eating this, so my mind says eat again. So initially we were thinking about prayers is all about likes and dislikes, what I like and what is pleasant. But now we go a little deeper. We say, okay, so it means I have to be aware of the instinct and impulse and habit in my life. Why? To remove the ignorance. Because I have to make my flow of the mind to the shreyas, not to the prayers. You see, ultimately all are related to ignorance to knowledge. All are. Here and now. Your honey says something and you have an instant impulse. How the hell? You feel that. You want to say that. The moment you become aware, it's gone. Oh, I saved myself from going to hell. No, wife is not sending you to the hell. You yourself, you want to create through an impulse and instinct, you want to create an unhealthy situation and condition and relationship. No, but my honey initiated this. Okay, let her initiate. She is not treating the path of Eastern wisdom. You are. Oh yes. So if I am treating the path, it means I should not follow my instinct or impulses. Don't misunderstand that. Okay, it means whatever she says, agreed. I'm not saying that. Don't follow prayers. So when I don't follow prayers, I'm happy and calm. I'm not affected by the outer situation. I have more energy, clarity, intellect to respond to a situation. My master used to say that, you see the foolishness of people. Whenever they have a problem, they go deeper into ignorance. How? They start fighting, oh, there is a problem. So you have to solve the problem by living wisely. Are you understanding that? Someone cheated you, so now you need a stronger intellect, a calm mind to solve the problem, not to get carried away. Are you getting it? See, see the beauty of, I have a pain and then I start crying. I have pain in the knee. What will happen if my knee is not working? Then I cannot drive my car. Then I will be dependent. Then I have a lot of problem. My honey is already not supporting. If you no, why you think such a long journey? You have a pain, solve the pain problem. What will happen? This guy cheated me $20,000. So what will happen if everyone starts cheating? No, solve this problem first. So when I start making a story, I'm moving into prayers. So I'm not living wisely. I'm not living wisely. I cannot succeed into reaching to the highest state of mindfulness. Do you see the clarity? So the mind, because of instinct and impulse, because of habit, because of its continuous thinking in the ignorance, causes all these problems. Others are create. There is no other in shares. There is no other in shares. You see, you have to connect all the dots. So there is a simultaneous awareness. So your mind is not moving into ignorance at any step. It is a continuous flow of knowledge. So honey says you are crazy. Thank you very much. You don't think I'm more crazy than you think. You don't take it. The words does not have a value. Why it does not have a value? Because you have an emotional freedom. So what happens in emotional dependence? You take the word crazy as if you are. So if you are angry, you prove that you are crazy. You start fighting. How dare you say that I'm crazy? So you have already proved. Normally people say it's matter of ego. Normally people say, how dare you say? So whether you say uh, a particular repetitive aptitude, a fixed feeling, impulse, a lot of things, sentiment, all these comes under these category of instinct and impulses. It has nothing to do, you know, we have, we all have survival instinct for self-preservation, for sexual pleasure. We also have social instinct for food and the safety and security. We all have. Eating, drinking, sleeping, they all are instinctual behaviors. If we contemplate and reflect on, I would say, we say natural instinct. Fact is that they are unnatural. Fear, anxiety associated with fear. We have anger or frustration, depression, loneliness, and guilt. These are the five or the six instincts we always carry with ourselves. And they come at any time, they manifest at any time because learn the understand clearly the principle of Eastern wisdom. Mind has two flow. One flow is Shreyas. Shreyas is done, is understood by the mind, understood by the intellect, realized in the mind, and that prompts you to act, think, and speak with what is right and good. And prayers is instinctive and impulsive, caused by the likes and dislikes, emotional dependence. We don't think, we just act. So you see that the the fear, the fear. I told you the couple of these so-called natural instinct in modern psychology, but we don't tell them that, we don't say that they are natural. The fear, anger, depression, loneliness, and or frustration or guilt. Five or six, these are called the natural instincts. So why we should know it? The moment you have any one of them, tell your mind you are living in ignorance. First, get rid of the ignorance. Then we will talk of the guilt and loneliness. Loneliness. You sleep lonely. You eat alone. For emotional dependence, we eat together. But I eat for myself. You eat for yourself. I'm lonely. I sleep for myself. I go to a restroom for myself.
The loneliness is trick of ego because ego depends from the
Yeah,
relationships.
yeah, yeah. Whether you say emotional dependence, when you are not able to find the pleasure in emotional dependence, that is ego. Then you react. Then you react. And so you see that, this is what. So our master says that you have to constantly hammer your intellect. Do I live wisely? If I live wisely, I'm not worthy of suffering. When I'm not worthy of suffering, the mind pushes me that here is a suffering. You reject consciously by understanding it. Rejection is not by force, rejection is not a suppression. Why you reject? Because it does not exist. No, no, I feel lonely and I feel depressed, I feel angry because of ignorance. No, no, how can you say I have an experience? Okay, you have an experience, it means that is your nature. Go back to the same understanding. So, anger is my nature. No, I became angry, it is, yes, it is inbuilt. Okay, it is inbuilt, it means it is my nature. So, I should be happy being angry if it is inbuilt. No, that is not possible. So, when that is not possible, it means are you looking for peace and happiness? Yes. Are you looking for anger or guilt or no? Okay. So, can I change my perception about anger, guilt, frustration, and fear that they are not my nature? Yes. So, when you are thinking and contemplating and reflecting, after contemplation and reflection, that I cannot be happy being angry, and then you become aware, all thought stops, you are already in the state of meditation. But now another thought comes, depending on the level of your seeker. So I have to continue the journey until I find that They do not exist. And if they do not exist, then I am not worthy of suffering. When, in any situation, in any condition, with anyone, why? No outer situation, person, time, location can give me any stress or suffering. So once you are aware of that, your mind has dropped the emotional dependence, or likes and dislikes, or attachment, or ego, whatever we want to say. So here we are totally flexible. Eastern wisdom is totally flexible. Don't define what is ego and then live with it. Define ego, understand it, and drop it. We have not to live with these models. We only want to live with these models to understand it, to rise in awareness. That's all. So I would say that non thinking, automatic thinking, ignorance, and delusion are same, and they are known as impulse and instinct. I'm just doing mechanically. It means I don't know. Animals are doing mechanically. I have repeated the same thing again and again, and still I am ready to do it. Instinct and impulse, or emotional dependence, or ego, or non thinking, or ignorance, or delusion. I'm repeating. So that is why they are instinct. What should we do? Follow the Eastern wisdom. Understand the model. That is what we say. So what to understand? So now I'm repeating it again for the sake of understanding. In one line, discernment, viveka, vairagya, dispassion. So when I practice both in my daily life, inside me, there is already a calm. All the six treasures comes to me. You are listening to your honey who is becoming angry and who is reacting to you in the state of the calm because you have reached to the higher level of viveka and vairagya. It does not happen to the psychotherapist, even though they know the principles. But if any of their patients are narrating their incident which took place in the life of a psychotherapist, they get disturbed because they don't know the principle of discernment and discretion. So half of these experts become insane after a couple of years of practice. Famous, perhaps psychiatrist who worked for many years in National Institute of Health, which is the world's best organization. They said that falsely, by fraud, many psychiatrists proved that melatonin, which helps you to sleep better,
Mhm.
they published a paper supporting certain pharmaceutical companies. And he said, I still say it is a fake. Can you believe billions of people have taken melatonin to sleep? Now, here, why I compare, that's very important. Our masters wants to remove ignorance in millions of ways. They don't want to leave a trace of ignorance. So we have many models, but ultimately all the models come to one point. I am real self. Real self is peace and happiness, love and wisdom. See that? The one young guy who has a split personality and little bit of perhaps schizophrenic and disturbed sleep. So he was taking those pills belonging to the psychiatrist when I sent this article published recently. So at that time he was fully aware. His mind was following the path of the Shreyas. So he wrote me back that I will leave all these medications. He said, choice is yours. I don't want to get sued for any wrong reason. You are sued here. So I said, I just sent you an article. So after a week, he said, I have started taking the medication again. I said, do it, whatever you. Now, what do you say? I said, it's your false belief. What we say in false belief in medical term, I will remember, then I'll tell you. It's a very good term. Placebo.
Placebo. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a placebo.
But all our life is placebo.
Yeah. That
We
is
believe
why
this.
that is why the master says the first model, he asks the question, to whom the knowledge is to be given to a qualified seeker. What is the subject matter? Who am I? My ego says I know myself. No, you don't know. So the seeker tells you that as long as you are having a stress and suffering, feeling of loneliness and anxiety and duality, you claim that it's your nature, you are in ignorance. So you have to know, who am I? What is the world? So what is the result? Bring an end to all the suffering, Buddha says. And at the same time it says, now you start thinking, speaking and acting in peace, happiness, love and wisdom. Are you doing it all the time? Do you ever forget? No. Do you claim you are worthy of suffering? No. What is the one word we can use for it? Awakening. Means that at any point, in any situation, with anyone, Mahani got a gum surgery and she was crying in pain. What can I do? No, don't cry. I will take your pain. Is it possible? Or I have second option. This is false. Second option is that I move also with emotional dependence. I also start crying, so we both start crying. Is that a solution? So I told her that you have been taking antibiotics and you have a lot of stitches. So let me send a text to the doctor. I don't know. He's sad. In order to make her believe, so that her mind changes the thought pattern. I knew that this is what is going to happen. He already told, dentist already told that it will take 4 weeks. You'll have pain and you'll have, to prevent that, you'll have antibiotics. So the painkillers were there. Then he told that, keep on taking the painkiller. Now, if I understand in the first instant, I should not have suffered for 2 more days. See the beauty of understanding our Eastern wisdom. That's a beauty. So the triangle, I normally say triangle, we have to connect the three triangle. That means it forms the triangle. So first is to whom the knowledge is to be given to a seeker. So we have to constantly contemplate and reflect and become aware that we are a seeker inside. Outside, we are a husband, wife, daughter, son, employer, everything is okay. Inside, we are a seeker. So, second is that what is the subject matter of the seeker? Who am I? So, we are 100% clear that how and why we do not know who am I and what is the result. Result is ultimate end of suffering and awakening. So we have to connect to these three triangles. So you have to think again and again. I have to become a seeker and then let the seeker connect to the subject matter. Seeker is always wants to be aware, wants to find out who am I in my thoughts, speech, actions, relationship, profession, duality, conflict, anger, anxiety, in all matters. Oh, so what happens? It means I have to live consciously since I wake up until I retire to the bed. Yes, living with these principles helps you to live in the state of mindfulness. Then connect the seeker with the goal. What is the goal? The why I'm doing it. I must get some result. What is the result? Result is the end of suffering. So the mind is going anywhere. Mind says, I will teach my honey a lesson. No, don't teach yourself a lesson. You are going down. Stop this. You are not worthy of suffering. Even if you become angry and react, it means you want yourself to suffer. It is not your nature. Oh, so end of suffering and result is awakening. Yes, result is awakening. So two connections, two triangles are met, and the third one, subject matter means the knowledge, self-knowledge or knowledge of the real self, and the result. And oh, what do you mean? Can knowledge be practiced? No. So self-knowledge gives me freedom from the suffering. Yes. But to believe that, to trust that, we need a highest level of a seeker. The mind even intellectually believes it, but then it commits mistakes. So that is why I asked what happened last week. Tell me those challenges, problems, reaction, anger, anxiety. I've started asking those every student of mine. Tell me how many times you were upset last week, or until the last session. How many times you were frustrated. Become aware. You will see it is the prayers movement of the mind. And I'm not worthy of prayers. When I'm not worthy of prayers, I'm done. Think, think. So once we are there, then we come to the 4 verses that we have covered. Then we can ask the big questions. Now I'm not worried about, I have understood any form of fear, anxiety, reaction, duality, blame comes from, I know it. So
Oh
I'm not
no.
going to ask you how to manage my anxiety. No. How to attain this passion knowledge. Because that will bring an ultimate result. Managing anxiety is not going to bring any result because ultimately sometime I will mismanage it. Manage my anger. I will mismanage in the future. Oh, understand that. What a great mind that is asking this question. And the master says negation and affirmation. Again, strengthens the quality of dispassion. It is again, and then he says witness. Once you are dispassion, you are a witness to everything in the world that is constantly changing from where we have started our journey. Matter, body, constantly changing. It appears that body is steady, but it is not, it is constantly changing. Matter, energy, molecules, 60 years of age does not exist. If you say it exists, it means protein becomes old, carbohydrate becomes old. Come on, argue. It's all a label. It's all a delusion. It's all a delusion. Body is sick because of the COVID. Yes, we at a transactional level we have to take all those actions. But we house this body, not we. This body contains thousands and hundred thousands of bacteria and viruses. They help me to live. Don't go too far. Matter is this is body, matter, changing. Nothing becomes old, nothing becomes young. Everything in the world is constantly changing. And I'm not a change because I'm conscious. Why I do not change? Because I'm the real self.